Thanks for speaking with us today. Let's get into it. You are on cable TV a lot. Much of the time you're defending former President Trump almost more than your opponent, who's one of his personal attorneys. How does this serve the people of Missouri in your function as Attorney General?
Well, the lawfare against President Trump is injecting poison into our democratic process, and Missourians have a right to participate in a national election on equal footing with other states. And when you've got a rogue prosecutor and collusive judiciary in the state of New York who are taking a presidential candidate off the campaign trail and silencing him through an illicit gag order, that harms Missourians' rights to have access to and hear from a presidential candidate. The First Amendment protects not only a speaker's right to say, but listeners' rights to hear. And Missourians have the right during the heat of a campaign to hear from a national presidential candidate.
You know, we talk about the gag order. You have threatened to sue the state of New York. You talk about this gag order on the former president. What does that have to do with day-to-day life in Missouri? We know the former president is still allowed to campaign and debate. He just can't talk about witnesses, jurors, and other people connected to that case in New York. How does this affect people in Colcamp or Harrisonville?
Well, again, what you're seeing is a rogue prosecutor in New York that's attempting to hijack a national election. And Missourians are denied access to the president if he's tethered to a courtroom in New York or ultimately sentenced to either prison or probation. It's injecting confusion into the electoral process. The process in the state of New York is replete with ethical problems and certainly with constitutional violations. And so, yes, Missourians can hear from President Trump, but not on the full range of issues. His core political speech is still being violated by the gag order. And again, that harms Missourians because they can't hear from the president on those specific issues.
Yes or no, if offered a job by the next administration, say former President Trump wins, would you take it and leave your post early?
Yeah, that's too vague of a hypothetical to answer. I want to be able to serve the people of the state of Missouri in the best way possible and to be able to be around my family and raise my children. And so right now I'm myopically focused on being the Attorney General.
All right, leaving your options open. I got you. You've mentioned your love of the Constitution. We know the right to initiative is an important part of Missouri's Constitution, which you've sworn to protect. Earlier this year, the state Supreme Court forced you to stop holding up a petition effort from groups working to protect abortion rights in Missouri. You wanted the state auditor to raise the projected cost, something he pushed back on. The courts deemed outside the scope of your office. You are pro-life, and you've campaigned on this as a conservative candidate. If you continue on as Attorney General, will you protect the law and potentially pass constitutional amendments even if they involve a stance or a subject you disagree with or don't like?
Yeah, look, I have to defend laws that I disagree with all the time. I am vehemently pro-life. I think that we need to protect children as a foster parent who's adopted children. I think we can find loving homes for all kids. And so the destruction of human life is abhorrent to who I am as a Christian and as a father. At the end of the day, I swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution and enforce the laws given to us by the people and the people's elected representatives in the General Assembly, and that's what I'm going to do.
As Attorney General, you also pledged to represent and defend in defamation suits a trio of state senators who had circulated social media posts falsely calling an innocent man a shooter and a legal immigrant after the Chiefs rally shooting here in Kansas City this year. That's a move your boss, the governor, called wrong. He even made sure funding was cut off. Do you regret your decision? Would you make it again?
No, I'm guided by statute and by the case law interpreting those statutes. And my predecessors have also defended senators who were sued in defamation suits. And so we're carrying on the traditions and the basic execution of the laws as given to us by the General Assembly. There's a statute that guides that process, and ultimately the court's going to make a determination on that case.
We talk about national politics, and many of the Missouri races, campaign ads, feel like they are national races here. Let's try to put that aside for the moment. So national politics aside, please, what is the single biggest issue facing Missourians here at home, inside our borders?
Well, I think crime is an enormous issue that's impacting all Missouri communities in a negative way, and I'm proud of the work that I've done, not only to remove a prosecutor in St. Louis who was refusing to enforce the law, had a 96% non-prosecution rate. It had caused more than 500 businesses to leave downtown St. Louis, but going circuit by circuit to meet with elected prosecutors, sheriffs, and police chiefs, that's resulted in a 133% increase in trial court level criminal prosecution from my office statewide. So I'm really proud of the work that I'm doing to lead the efforts to fight back against violent crime, enforce the rule of law, hold wrongdoers accountable, and find justice for victims.
If elected to a full term, does that continue in cities across the state? What does that plan look like?
Yeah, we're going to continue to find new and innovative ways to effectively deploy state resources to assist local efforts at fighting crime. We're going to continue to enhance our consumer protection division. Last year alone, we recovered more than $32 million in settlements and judgments on behalf of defrauded Missourians. And that's putting real money back in the pockets of working Missouri families. I'm dedicated to ensuring that there's a level playing field for Missouri consumers and proud of the work we've done. And I think we can expand those efforts going forward.
You know, as we see a pretty contentious campaign between you and your Republican opponent, it's safe to say that you're very similar in platform. So how do you differ? Can voters make that choice here on August 6th?
Well, first and foremost, I'm from Missouri. This is home. This is where I grew up. This is where I'm raising my family. My opponent's from New York and moved here to be a politician. I've been doing the job of the Attorney General for the past 18 months, and my platform is my record. And we fought and won for Missourians, and we'll continue to do so.
How do you plan to convince the people that you're charged with serving in Missouri from all walks of life, right, and political parties, that you have their best interests at heart when all they're seeing are conservative releases or talk about the Trump prosecutions and, suits against the Biden administration and the like? How do you bring people together as Attorney General?
Well, I think it's doing the good blocking and tackling, the work assigned to the Missouri Attorney General's office in statute by the people's elected representatives in the General Assembly, that good consumer protection work we've done. We've got a robust civil defense practice as well, where we've defended the state agencies and obtained 7 complete defense verdicts in a 15-month period. That 133% increase in criminal prosecution statewide, and our partnership with law enforcement agencies across the state, our new initiatives to combat human trafficking that has increased recently in the state of Missouri, leading to more than 1,100 incidences of reported human trafficking. I mean, these are important issues to everyday Missourians that the people around the kitchen table care about, and we're fighting and winning on those issues. And so taking care of the small stuff and the big stuff, and again, delivering wins on behalf of the people of the state is imperative to the work that I do.
Now, your opponent says that the system is broken, which I know is a great political buzz phrase, but he says, specifically pointing to the AG's office, as the head of that system right now, do you agree to changes need to be made? Are you making changes even within your office now?
Yeah, we're constantly looking at ways to get better. I reject the status quo. I think you can see that again through the work that we've done, restructuring the office and then holding local officials accountable for their misdeeds as well. And so we're always going to be finding ways to get better. Patrick Mahomes doesn't win a Super Bowl and go home and sit on his laurels. He finds a way to get back out on the field and win the next Super Bowl. We're going to do the same thing.
What's the one thing that you would do full term day one?
I would meet with my staff, thank them for the hard work they've done, and encourage them that we've got more to do and a higher ceiling, and start generating new and innovative ideas to reform, restructure, and advance the interests of the people of the state of Missouri.
All right, we'll leave it there. Attorney General Andrew Bailey, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.